Peace and harmony, my rosebuds. I know it's been a minute since I made a video, but yes, God is preparing me for so much right now, and I ain't never been this focused in my life, and I have nothing to say, but I just give thanks for all of it. But anyways, I wanted to share something about being vulnerable and just vulnerability, because I think people know what it is, but they don't know what it truly means to be vulnerable. And, as I am always building my relationship with God every single day, right? I had to look up the etymology of vulnerability, because I don't just look at the definitions. I actually study the word itself, right? So I looked at the etymology of vulnerable, and it means to tear, to pick, a wound, things like that. I had to think to myself, I was like, okay, in order to be vulnerable, really be vulnerable with whether you're in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether you need to be vulnerable with yourself, it requires a few steps, right? You can't just say like, oh, let's just be vulnerable. Like, you got to be vulnerable. How do you be vulnerable? And I started to think about it. It's kind of like a cut, right? You get a cut on your finger, your hand, wherever you get a cut. And it's like when you see the cut, you don't just say, okay, cut, heal. It steps to the healing of the cut, right? You gotta first acknowledge it. Once you acknowledge it, you have to then examine it. And once you examine it, you have to decide how you're going to clean it up. And then once you decide how you're going to clean it up, and you actually take the steps to cleaning up your cuts, you're then going to apply a bandage. And once you apply that bandage, you do nothing at all, and you just let the healing begin. And I say that because when we are trying to heal, and I'm using this like a mic, when we are trying to heal, we often skip steps, and we never acknowledge it. We tend to avoid it, and then we try to figure out why we're still struggling, why we're still triggered on certain situations. And it's like we have not been vulnerable. We have not acknowledged certain things that we have experienced. We haven't thoroughly examined it. We haven't decided if we're going to clean it up or not. We haven't decided if we're just going to bandage it up and allow it to gradually heal on its own. And when you think about that and you think about healing, that's really what it takes. Acknowledging it, examining it, like thoroughly examining it, deciding, making the executive decision, like it's something that you're either going to accept or it's something that you're able to change, right? And once you decide that, you take the necessary steps to actually clean it up, clean your act up, okay? And once you do that, you continue to create these habits. That's why the cleanup is so necessary. It's certain habits that you're going to be doing in the process after you just acknowledged it, examined it, now you're cleaning it up. It takes steps. And once you start getting into those habits, it will gradually start to fade away, but fade away instead of you fading away to avoid it. It's fading away through love and releasing it. And when you come again, or get a chance again to experience those things that triggered you once before, Now when it comes into play, you're not going to react the same way. You're going to be like, okay, that did trigger me at one point, but it no longer makes me feel that way because I've dealt with that. I've acknowledged it. I've examined it thoroughly. I've cleaned my act up. I decided that I no longer will accept that, or you can't accept it. You know, because it's a lot of things that we can change about ourselves, and then it's a lot of things that we also can't really change. We have to just accept that that is who we are. You know, I had to accept that I love a certain type of way, and there's nothing wrong with the way that I love. Like I really had to like really understand that, understand that, and understand that for myself, because I have so much love to give as a person. And you know, I've been in relationships and things where it was kind of like, okay, am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? Like, like, you know, and I just had to acknowledge that I am just a giver. I am just a diehard lover, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I did have to learn along the way that there are levels to it, okay? I did have to learn to put limits on certain things, still be myself, but put limits to it. You know, everybody does not deserve the full-fledged thing, but they can definitely experience me, right, without me having to be draining. And that can be the same thing for you. If you a diehard lover, all that, you a diehard, like you in it, and I don't know if it's like an Aries thing, but but when we in it, we in it. If we not with it, we not with it. It's not no gray areas, like, at all. So I just wanted to speak to y'all about being vulnerable and what that really means. You know, even when you're in relationships with people, you being vulnerable with that person, that's really what it is. You being in close proximity with that person, and y'all aren't just, you know, just there just to be twiddling your thumbs. No, when you're close with somebody and y'all have that relationship, y'all have created that certain level of intimacy. Intimacy is literally you being vulnerable at a heightened level. You know, do y'all understand? If you understand, put some roses in the comment section. Intimacy is just a high level of vulnerability. You being able to let your walls down and let that person see into you. And this is, we're talking about non-sexual. Just being able to experience, allowing each other to experience each other, judgment-free, trigger-free. And even if it is triggering, because I've been in close situations or intimate situations with people before, and I had to, like, it got me hot, because it's like, ooh, like, I don't know if this person's gonna judge me if I let down these walls and they see this part of me that I was hiding or waiting for someone else, like, you know. And this is non-sexual. This is why vulnerability is very important, that we understand it thoroughly and fully, especially when it comes to building a relationship with ourselves, building a relationship with God, building a relationship, friendship, whatever, any type of relationship. You are going to be vulnerable, but you have to understand what vulnerability is. So yeah, I wanted to share that with y'all, because it was on my mind. I'm like, dang, I learned something new today about vulnerability. Like, I knew what vulnerability was, but and I knew it correlated to intimacy and stuff, but I really, it just kind of like dawned on me, like, today. So I wanted to share that with y'all, and if that resonated, drop some roses in the comment section, okay? And then let me know if you watched the whole entire video through. I appreciate you so much, because I mean, you love me. And I love you. But anyways, y'all, yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for being a part of channel. I really appreciate y'all. And FYI, my whole entire channel will be changing. All of it will be changing. So yeah, if you looking to really understand yourself, understand and overstand yourself as a woman, and you want to really genuinely for real do better, you know, understand yourself in all levels, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, make sure you stay subscribed, because I have so much for y'all in store, because we gotta start representing and being an example of being a real good woman, like a good woman, okay? Not the ones that they saying on social media, but like in real life, like being like a real life good woman, because y'all be faking it till you make it. But it's levels to it. It's understanding, it's patience, it's kindness, it's being vulnerable with yourself and others, and allowing your walls to be brought down, you know, even in the space of compassion for other women, you know. Yes, I'll make another video about that. But anyways, y'all, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe.